Well, okay, my name is Ganesan. I run, oops, okay, before that, can I know how many of you guys are building games? Okay, who's publishing or have like, doing marketing, things like that? It's about, okay, thank you. So, well, my background is like I was born in Malaysia. I stayed in Malaysia until I was 18 years old. Then I moved to Japan, and I've been studying and then working and doing a lot of awesome things in Tokyo. I've been a developer for about 20 years, marketer for about 10 years, and a researcher for about 10 years. I do invest. I do. This is my third company currently. I enjoy Red Bull vodka, blah blah blah. That's like that. So lately, well, I launched this company called Fun and Cool Ventures last year in Tokyo and Singapore. We are based in Kuala Lumpur, Tokyo, and Singapore, but basically the studio is in Kuala Lumpur. So we built the games in Kuala Lumpur. We tried to market it to Japan, Korea, and China. What we are looking to do is like trying to build a success of Asian first. So not Asian first, ASEAN first. So most of the companies in ASEAN or in this region try to like work with a publisher which is from like UK or French or the United States. But as you guys know, last year there was a lot of publishers. These years, almost every one of them died or dead or whatever. So what we do is like we try to help small-time developers to have their own publishing team or get their things up and going by themselves. At the same time, we build our own games so that we can test what's happening. So we are more or less like a hybrid model of self-development, self-publishing, and self-marketing. We also we are in very close beta right now at a platform called GBOOST. We only allow Asian games to join Asian market for GBOOST, focusing on Japan, Korea, and China. Sorry, not the mainland China at the moment, but Taiwan and Hong Kong. We are looking to set up a new studio in Jakarta and Thai. Manila, more or less, we will be setting up. What we are trying to do, okay, I can just cut this off. Okay, what is about self-sourcing or self-publishing is like, well, we all know that most of us have already been building games. Well, the earliest, maybe 2000, 2002, 2005. Then there was the second wave or third wave by 2010, 2009 to 2010. And all of us know that we do have about 5 years experience on building the games. But when it comes to how to sell the product or how to make a final product, most of the Asian game companies, we don't have good knowledge on that. So what we try to do is like we try not to use publishers or pray and try to do a lot of experiments to find out what is the best way to do it. Okay, so well, I was talking with Stefan just now, and well, publishers are something like this right now. If you are here this last year for the conference, basically you will go around and meet a lot of people. Oh, I'm a publisher. This year I can see more developers than publishers. So next year I think they will be somewhere disappeared. If you guys are publishers, I'm sorry, man. So, well, praying, okay, it works. Sometimes, you ask someone who is in the top ranking, how did you get up there? They said, yeah, I was lucky. So they published, they push out their second game. They will never get back there. Maybe the God was, was awesome for them for the first time, but the second time they just forget them. So the third thing is about self-publishing. It's about standing out in a crowd like this, where, I don't even know him. I just took this out from Flickr, and it's like standing out in a crowd. Just imagine that's about 800,000 apps or games, or 500,000 plus games. So it's how you stand out on the picture that, oh yeah, my app is awesome. So, well, our strategy and how we have been doing our first million, second million, and how are we going to move to our third million is we use an entry as a search engine optimization model. So well, if you Google out for App Store optimization, you will find a lot of blogs and essence on to do that. It's very effective. It's not crowded at all. You just need to work. You just need to get a student or someone who understands how to search and tell him, okay, I want to bang this keyword and I want to conquer this keyword or something like that. There are also tools coming up. My background, I've been doing building search engine for like 10 years plus. I got a PhD in search engine, and basically my first company was all about search engine optimization for the web. Second was something else. Third is more towards search engine optimization for the App Store. Secondly is cross-promote. You can use our platform called GBOOST. If you guys want to sign up, you're welcome to come and talk to me. It's basically a very simple model where you exchange users from one game to the other game. Our model currently have about 40% of our users moving from game A to game B. It's kind of successful. Third, you spread using social media. So it's how you link this search, rotate, and spread model together so that you will keep on having a very nice DAU inside your platform. In order to do that, when we first planned for game building, so I come back to Malaysia and Singapore, I start interviewing people. Most of the good guys or the awesome people come to me and say, hey, I want to build a hardcore game. I need a year. By a year, I think I will dry out of cash. So we try to sit down and think, OK, this is how we're going to have the business up and running. So we spent about 2 to 3 months planning the first few experiments we did. Later on, when we first shoot out our first game, the game I will explain to you later. This is how we took our first million. So the first million took us about 3 months. So one day we tried to target about 10,000 downloads. You need at least 2 to 3 games to do that. So basically one game will do about 3,000 downloads a day. From there, you just move them from one game to the other. Try to shoot out many games at the same time. So the second million, OK, that was in December last year. January and February was the first million we got. And then March and April, we got our, the second million. So we reached the 2 million target point. And the third million, we are doing about 30,000 downloads per day right now. And we expect to get it by the end of this month. How we build our games is like we build mini games at first, and then from there we gradually move to a little bit bigger game. For example, well, our games budget. OK, I'm talking too fast, right? I still have 10 more minutes. So our games were budgeted around 2,000 to 4,000 US dollars. We spent about the first game we spent about 5 days. Second was 7 days, then 10 days, then 21 days. Then we moved to 6 weeks. 6 weeks is a sweet spot for us right now to get our games out and going. We focus more on marketing the game after we push it out. Lately, we start since we already know how to reach to our first million, second million. So we are focusing on 3 months building the game, and then maybe 4 months if I have enough budget. So something around there, what we believe is like we reuse the code. We try to get a certain type of users keep on playing our games with a very nice daily active users. We shoot out, one of our biggest game that went from nowhere to suddenly ranking very high in Taiwan and Hong Kong was like, it's called Sushi Friends. It's a crappy game that you build sushi. And we use the same template to use it in pizza. Pizza is like doing very good in Saudi Arabia. I don't even know how they found the game. So we're getting 10,000 downloads per day in Saudi Arabia, and like, oh yeah, how? And we tried our first 3 months game called Bar Friends, where you will be given about 150 cocktails. You try to figure out how to make cocktails based on the recipe. So it's more or less there. So well. If you ask me how we are looking at the company right now, it's like we consider ourselves at the moment as fast food game. So it's not because we are building the fast food, we are building the games that's related to food. It's like you can have like Hard Rock Cafe selling a $20 or $30 burger, but if you go to McDonald's, it's just $3 or $4. So we are trying to maximize the number of users playing our games. It's like McDonald's. You have, a lot of people crowding in rather than trying to have one customer staying for a very expensive experience. So, well, this is like, well, last night I quickly removed all my ugly games. So this is the few games that we have left for Android. For iOS, my Japan company is publishing about 10 very small, tiny games. The other one is under Malaysia. We have about 7 or 8 games left there. So, well, as I mentioned, we do SEO. If you guys can definitely Google out. I'll just point out how to do it. Basically, search engine for games or for apps right now, it's like the year 2000 or the year 1995, where you still have Alta Vista. Anybody knows Alta Vista? Yeah, good, awesome. You know, it's like almost you can do all the magical spamming, and you still can get away with it. So it's still very early, even though they say they are working very hard, and because that's not much spammers there. So I mean, if you stuff a lot of keywords, you will get one. We tried that. We got the awesome warning from Google. But there are still, you know, sweet spots where you can find the techniques to get it done. So basically, the most important thing is app name. So most of you guys will have, like, for example, blurt something or whatever. If you take a look at our games, it always comes with some special keywords plus some description behind it. So the way we plan our games is like, yeah, of course, you can have a branding name, but I'm too small to be remembered. Nobody even care that I even stand up here by tomorrow or something like that. So in the search space, basically, people will be looking for certain specific gaming experience. For example, people who love sushi, they want to play another sushi game. There's about 300 sushi games there. It's kind of crowded. So you need to stand up to get it out. If people looking for burger, that's about 500 plus, if I'm not mistaken. People looking for cats game, you know, cat lovers, they want to play. Like, I first noticed this problem when, you know, you have a kid and you're looking for kids game, and all you get is crappy kids game. So from there, you optimize your game so that people can get that keyword optimized. If I'm not mistaken, I can reveal this. That's about 50 elements done for Google. So if you Google out, basically online, you can find about 10 to 15 written on blogs. The rest are based on experiments. And Apple has about 30 core elements. Apple is very hard to predict. After they change to Chomp, it's like, yeah, still experimenting here and there. So keywords important, tags are important. I still see a lot of game publishers, big game publishers, don't even bother to put more than 3 keywords for their tags. It's a mess. So you can put up to 100 characters for Apple. So try to fill it in as much as possible. Descriptions is kind of low for Apple. For Google, they also take care of all their surroundings, websites which have the same thing. The rest is like, for download rating, it's kind of black box, but I believe is what is written here. So, well, this is what we learn and what's important for us. It's like, well, you know how to make downloads now for us. So we are moving from just making downloads to make a better experience in games in Google. So we believe that by shooting out these games will give a better chance for us to be successful. So by next month, we'll be shooting out 3 titles at the same time, so we have been spending about 3 months developing it. So let's see how it goes. So, well, this is what I heard. I mean, I already said about this in the beginning. When I first planned after 18 years living in Japan, I want to move back to ASEAN. I was like, yeah, everybody's come to me and say, oh yeah, you can build games, but still you need to find a publisher, you know, a good publisher to publish your game, because we build crappy games. Publishers don't even care to talk to us. So, well, we believe that self-publishing will be something that will happen by this year towards next year. More and more smaller companies with smaller marketing budgets will start saying, okay, screw the publishers, let's just do it on our own. That's a big publisher name there. They might be different, I don't know. So, well, a lesson learned, the bad one is like mini games, it's impossible. Mini games can pick up in Japan, can get noted there, but other than that, it's almost impossible because we can't spread. Nobody really care about tweeting your scores. In Japan, people tweet or people share their scores. Other than that, basically, it's very difficult. Some language people don't really search. So even if you think that you can do search engine optimization, make sure that that language people search for it. People will, locate your game by search. No spread, no talk. So if you can't find a way to spread your game, like I mentioned just now, by using Facebook or Twitter, it's almost impossible. The good lesson learned, well, we found out that people who come from search, they tend to spend longer time playing the game rather than people who just click an ad and jump to the game. The next important thing is like search, rotate, and spread model. You have to come out with your own. We do have some planning that we're shooting out. So okay, just last minute. GBOOST is a platform that we will be shooting out. We're already finalizing our beta test right now. So it's a platform where you can exchange DAUs with other countries. Because I believe that a lot of Japanese companies, a lot of Korean companies are looking at Asian market, but I mean, the bigger one, they just can appoint a publisher, but the smaller one, they need to help their self-publishing. So we are trying to exchange these DAU numbers so that you can, you don't have to spend money on marketing while you're hiring. That's more or less all. So, well, for those who are interested with GBOOST, we are giving out about $5,000 credits for everyone who is here who want to join us. That's a lot. That's not like $25 you get from Amazon, or you can get a huge amount of downloads. It's because we have a substantial amount of DAUs in our games right now where we can share it with others. So if you have a new game or if you want to join to the platform, you're welcome and come and join us. If you introduce your friends, you get something. Well, what we believe, it's like with GBOOST, you will never need to worry about marketing. With search engine optimization, which is so easy to do, if you haven't done it, please do it. You will get more rivals. And well, that's all. Any questions?
We have very
Limited
very
time, right?
few minutes.
Sorry.
So maybe 1 or 2 questions.
How many games do you have getting 30,000 downloads a day?
Okay, it's the whole platform that's getting there. So there's like one game doing, we don't market all the games at the same time. So we have 2 or 3 games doing very good, and the rest will be like slow because we do the rotation from 1 to 1. So it's not one game doing 30,000 a day. So well, but at one time we will have one game doing about 20,000, the rest doing about 5,000, 3,000, something like that. So.
Last question. No, nobody.
Okay, as I mentioned, it's fast food, so it's not only the potato you're going to sell. So.
Okay, thank you then.
Thank you.